Evening guys, great to see you all here again. Just want to introduce Stanley under 14s. They've kindly come down, and Nick, their coach, has kindly agreed to allow me to hopefully use these for what will be an enjoyable session for them, but hopefully something that we can all get something out of. So thanks for coming, everybody. Tonight's session's it's focusing on yardage defence. All right, we're going to have a little bit of a chat. Okay, get your thoughts on some stuff, some really important things about yardage defence as far as I'm concerned, or we're concerned here at Leeds. And then we're going to implement some demonstrations, and then hopefully build that in towards doing some defensive work, 13v some bodies, and hopefully how we can implement that and put it into practice and into action. Okay, yardage defence, I broke it down into two areas. All right. The first area is from goal line to 20-metre line. Okay, so we're going to talk about, we're going to practice how we would implement some defensive systems between goal line and 20-metre line. So when you've got a team down deep in their end, and then as they start getting a little bit further out, and we're going to talk about how that might adjust or change slightly when we go from 20-metre line to halfway line. Alright, so there's probably two sections to tonight's session. We're going to have a real concentrated effort on the goal line to 20-metre area, and then hopefully it'll all flow and fall into place a little bit easier at the back end for the 20-metre area to halfway, where we'll just make some adjustments to our defensive line and what it might look like, and how we would implement some slight adjustments or changes to what we might do at marker to the defensive line to out on the edge. And as always, I welcome opinions, thoughts, how you might do it differently at your club, how you might implement some of it at your club, and the levels that you're coaching at, etc, etc. So hopefully you guys will get something really beneficial out of it. Hopefully you guys will, and hopefully I will as well, because as I always say, it's great to share, you know, not just what I'm talking about and delivering, but your thoughts as well, that I can take back from feedback and stuff like that. So without further ado, we will crack on. So we're going to be using you guys, we're going to be doing some demonstrations and then some team stuff, okay, as well within that. You want to ask a question? Oh, sorry. Cool. Alright, so I have to excuse my writing. So I've put some stuff on the whiteboard that we're going to talk about first of all, and then hopefully implement. Guys, you're welcome to have a look at this as well. So if you can all just gather around so you can all see the whiteboard, hopefully you can all see what I've written here. So obviously the first part of tonight's session we're going to be talking about and then implementing yardage defence between goal line to 20-metre line. And I've just got 6 bullet points, okay, for that, and then for 20-metre line to halfway line, which I think are really, really important things. Without these, I'm not sure you can implement successful yardage defence. Okay, there'll be some other things. But they could come down here. And again, the order of them might change as well. So you might have something that's number 7 that you might think is number 4 in terms of importance, etc., etc., etc. Again, I'm not saying that, you know, all of that's got to be set in stone. It's just some things that I've put bullet point wise that hopefully we can try and implement tonight. Guys, feel free to shoot your hands up as well and give us your thoughts on this. So at number one, yardage defence, goal line to 20-metre line, I've got discipline as the most important factor. Who thinks they know why I've got that as number 1?
Giving penalties away for jumping line.
Absolutely no point at all in having a team 3 metres off their own try line if you're going to jump them out, okay, when you've got a team down this area of the field. Okay, you hear coaches right throughout Super League, and I'm sure at your levels, at unit levels, where you'll have team under massive pressure, and all of a sudden you'll let them out of there with a silly penalty, a needless penalty, and all of a sudden the momentum's changed and the tide's turned, and they end up getting down your end and coming up with a score, etc. So it's absolutely massive and paramount that discipline is high on the list of importance when you get teams down there. Okay, number 2, I've got narrow pitch. What might I mean by narrow pitch, do you think? Again, you guys, if you think you've got something to say.
Forcing them back inside.
Forcing them back inside, yeah. Anything else?
Closing the holes.
So by narrow pitch, what I'm talking about is making the pitch narrow. Making the pitch narrow. So in yardage, teams are probably going to be, again, in this area of the field, are they going to be expansive with the ball, do you think? Mostly. They're not. So we can narrow that pitch up. So in terms of our defensive line, we can tighten right up. And if we've got to play the ball 10 metres off a sideline, then we want to allow them to see space right over on the far side of the field. Okay, it's going to be a real challenge for a team to get the ball right across there. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about by narrowing the pitch. Again, we're going to do some demonstrations, hopefully highlight and demonstrate why we can do that and how effective that can be for a team. So narrowing the pitch when you've got teams, especially between goal line and 20 metre line. Line speed. We all know what that means. We all know what level of importance that means. And again, we're talking about generally just getting forward all the way to contact. So if we've got a guy that's running out of dummy half, we don't want to sit back and let him run 7 or 8 metres before he engages us. We want to be going and engaging him or the ball carrier as early as possible. And again, it's just a simple message. Okay, so line speed, really important message, all the way forward, right the way to contact. If the ball goes beyond us, line speed still means moving to where the ball's going to. So we don't just talk about getting forward in a straight line and keeping our hips square. We talk about getting forward if the ball goes past us, line speed still then moving on that angle, okay, forward and adjusting laterally as well. Marker split. Marker split, what might I mean by that?
Number up.
Number up.
Split to whatever goes on.
Yeah, so again, in this area of the field, can I have 2 guys, 2 volunteers? Yeah, any two, nice and quick. Yeah, what's your name? I'll have you and you. Cool, so just come and stand here. So you're going to be marker number 1, face that way from it. Marker number 2. Yeah, but in behind, as a marker. Okay, so just play the ball here. So in this area of the field, we're talking about marker splitting. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to have some communication with your first marker, and you're going to tell him to go in field, okay? But if we've got a guy that's at dummy half, okay, he might look to go that way and run that way. So it's really important that you split to that side. So all of a sudden, straight away, if you split that way, and then you split that way, okay, you split, and then if I run that way, you can engage me and tackle me. If you split that way, you can engage me and tackle me. Okay, so that's what we're talking about when we say marker split. Put that together with our line speed. Okay, especially if it's somebody that's running out of dummy half or just carrying close to the rope, hopefully we're going to be able to keep them to restricted yardage. So again, we're going to put some stuff in place and hopefully implement that as well. Okay.
Put a condition in how far the splitting.
We want to be really aggressive in this area, right. Really aggressive. So you're almost splitting, not so you get offside and lose discipline, but as soon as he picks up or the ball goes, you're going really, really aggressively. So that you're taking as many metres off them as possible. Okay? Making it slow. Making it slow. What might we be talking about when we're talking about making it slow?
Hold it down at top.
Yeah, absolutely. So being really dominant, because of all of those important things that we're doing, okay, we want to be able to take some line speed off them, go and engage them as far up the field or as early as possible. But then what we don't want to do is put somebody to ground and jump off really, really fast and have 2 or 3 in the tackle and jump off really, really quick, and that guy plays the ball before markers are set and square or our blokes are back on side, so that next play then makes too many metres on us. So we want to be able to get off from the rook really, really slow, but obviously with discipline as well. So as that referees, hopefully we're dominant, we can peel up and get up to marker, our defensive line's back on side, and then we can simulate that over 2, 3, 4, 5 plays throughout the course of a set of 6. Okay.
Coach, how long they're holding down? 1, 2, 3, and
generally you get a little bit of an understanding and a gauge. Right. So the referees at all levels, you know, obviously it doesn't always happen, but at all levels, referees should be calling whether it's a surrender tackle, whether you've been dominant or not. Okay, and then it should start that process of calling held and release, so that your players are aware of when they've got to start moving and peeling off and all that sort of stuff. Okay, but again, it's
14s, you don't get it.
absolutely, yeah. So you know, you've got a right to, if you've been really dominant, to work off nice and steady. But what you can't do is once they're on the floor, lay there without any movement for 2 or 3 seconds. Because at any point, even if you've driven them back 15 metres, once he's on the deck, if you just lay there without any movement, the referee's going to penalise you. So you've got to start that movement. Yeah. And then finally, an important one is wingers are detached. Wingers are detached. Now I'm not talking about short side wingers. So we've got to play the ball 10 metres off a sideline. Okay, it's the long side winger that we're going to detach. Okay, what might I mean by that?
Ground kicks.
Maybe so. We've got a really tight defensive line and we're narrowing the pitch. Okay, we've got 11 blokes because we've got a full back out the back that's defending really narrow. Just as a little bit of a precaution, we've got a winger that's going to detach himself a little bit wider from the rest of the defensive line. So if they do start to think that they can be expansive and look to try and get beyond our tight defence, our winger's just going to be coming forward in the defensive line on a wider area so that it spooks the offensive team. And they see that the winger's just in readiness to maybe cut off or stop any expansiveness that they might have. And again, that's just something that we're going to have a look at, and again, you'll all have your own opinions and thoughts and philosophies on that as well. Okay? Has anybody got anything else that they think would be important for them? Okay, just not within those 6 bullet points that I've got there, that I've not got down there, that you think would be really important for something that would be a focus for you or any team?
Our club, we try to get at least 2 people in a tackle every time.
Yeah, for sure. And again, in this area of the field, because we're tighter defensively, that allows us to be able to implement numbers into the tackle. You know, 2 and 3, and generally we talk about, do we really want any more than 3 in a tackle? Because if there is any more than 3 in a tackle and you've got 4 and 5 in there, then potentially you're without numbers back in the defensive line if they do get a quicker play the ball than you would deem as wanted and stuff like that.
I'd go aggressive in the first 2 or 3 tackles and try and drive back on the line because they're going to go safe in the first 2 or 3 tackles.
Yeah, for sure.
I think for me the big bit that had been missing for me, which we talked about a lot at our level, is we try to get all that done. Some communication on the pitch, just somebody organising all the
For sure. And again, it's a lot of it's muscle memory then. So automatically you get into an area of the field, and automatically the team positionally get themselves into that situation. Okay, and that discipline, spacings wise and defensive wise. So you've got your props, you've got obviously your back rowers, and then your centres and your full backs and stuff like that. All right, cool. We're going to have a little bit of a drill and a demo where hopefully we can see some of those things that will be implemented. Then we're going to progress that on to actually 13 in the defensive line, defending 2 or 3 players. It's not going to be full contact tonight. These guys have got a game tomorrow, but you are hopefully going to see how it would manifest itself. Okay, so if anybody can just come on the field. Okay, guys. Okay, next group of 5. Next group of 5. Okay, so first of all, okay, we've got you boxed into a nice tight area, 5 or 6 metres away from your try line. Okay, so you're either going to run out of dummy half, or you can pass to your first receiver, who's then going to carry the ball. You guys can go with him, but you're not going to receive a pass. Okay? You guys at marker, okay, you're going to work aggressively and split. Okay? You guys who are really tight defensively, you're going to get forward as aggressively as you can, but you are defending the width to the blue cone. Okay? The idea of this is you want to try and get as far forward as you can. Okay, to get to the guy that either carries the ball or runs out of dummy half, okay, and just make contact with him as far up the field as possible. Okay, by line speeding and getting forward, then if they start doing the getting out there, you've got to all get out there really aggressively. Okay, so we're going to have a few goes at this and implement it. Okay, so when I say go, pick the ball up for me, pick the ball up. Okay, when I say go, you're going to play the ball. Make sure you stay square. We're going to have a look at this. We'll talk about some points, okay, and then we'll keep going and hopefully implement this really well. Okay, are you ready? Go! Brilliant. Okay, stop there for me. Stop there. Perfect. Stand still. Okay, play the ball. No. ball back here. How many metres have you made? Not many. So the only metres this guy's going to make is what he might make after you guys have come in and tackled him. The only metres he's going to make is after contact. Now ideally, you want to stop him dead and maybe even send him that way a metre or two. Okay, but even if it's a big, strong, powerful thing, or he's used a little bit of footwork and he's tried to get to an inside shoulder after contact, he may only get to somewhere there. So that's been an absolutely massive play for us. Okay? We're all ready. Cool, we're going to go again. One side. So you can either pass the first receiver or you can run. Are you ready? Play! Brilliant. Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Another two groups in. Get ready to go. Put that ball down. Play!
Here we are.
Brilliant. Stop there. Good stuff. Next 5 in. Okay, you two groups in. If you were in attack, you're now in defence. Now we know what's working. Let's get ready to get this going really, really quick. Take it back 3 metres. Back on side with me. So really tight. Narrow pitch. Play. Good. 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 Next group's in. Get ready to go. If you're just in attack, you're now in defence. Yeah, back on side with me. Play. Good. Good. Good stuff. Next group's in. Let's get ready to go. Take it back a couple of metres, sorry. On side. On side. Come a little bit tighter. 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 Play. Good, good stuff, good stuff. Okay, next two groups in please. Get yourselves ready to play the ball. Right, Jack, get middle. Yeah, so nice and tight, nice and tight. Okay, hold it there, hold it there. Okay, so, you see that we've got two aggressive markers, they're really tight defenders, okay? As we go and expand this a little bit, we'll still be really tight and we'll leave the space over that area of the field. Okay? At the moment, okay, when the guy that runs or receives a pass, how many bodies is he running into? 2 or 3 bodies into. Okay? If you just go a little bit wider, you go a little bit wider, you go a little bit wider, hold it there. Okay, just going to have a demonstration now. So do exactly the same, either run out of dummy half or pass to first receiver. Wait. Okay, good stuff. Go again. Go again, same group. Same group. Okay, hold it there, hold it there. So ball carrier, I want you to try and get into this area. Let's go. Good stuff, good stuff. Hold it there. So, stop there. So what we got there, because we had blind defenders, what's your name, young man? Josh. We had Josh that was stood a little bit wider, so his first movement was in. Now if that happens in a game, Josh, come and stand back out here. Yeah, come and stand there for me, Josh. Okay, so if I'm defending outside of Josh, okay, what's your name? Jack. And what's your name? Bailey. You're going to support Jack on the outside of Josh. Okay? So if I'm defending here, because we're a little bit wider, okay, and Josh's movement is in towards Jack, off we go, Jack run towards him, and I don't go with him, what's the potential danger? A little pass because of the big hole, because our spacings are a lot wider, okay? So go a little bit tighter, Josh. Jack, go back, get the ball from under my heart. Come back here, you 3 defenders. Marcus, get ready. Okay, this time, listen in. I still want you to try and get into this area. Okay? But because we're a little bit tighter, everything line speed wise is coming from the inside. And we're not creating any doubt outside because our spacings are nice and tight and everything's up, and then out there nice and aggressively. So try and look for the same thing. Let's go. Good. Good, so there's not that option of finding that path. Okay? Right guys, can you come next group? Okay? But you guys are still going to start tight. You're still going to start tight. Okay? If they end up running here, no dramas. But if they end up running across there, we want to see your line speed getting forward, but then still shutting it down as fast as you can. Okay? That allows you past the first receiver only. Because we would have more defenders as we'll see. Already then. Let's go! Good. Brilliant. Okay. Next group's in. Get ready to go. Yeah, so you're trying to get towards the blue code. One side with me. Go back a couple of meters. All ready? Stay tight, stay tight, stay tight, stay tight. Go! Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Okay, brilliant. Sorry?
He's setting off early before he's taking ball.
The offensive team. Yeah, cool. Not fussed about that, just be talking about the added. But yes, offensively you want to tell your players that you're going to play the ball as good as you can, you're going to be catching the ball over the headline, etc, etc, etc. Anything from anybody?
The tying on the on the second marker. A couple of them did it really well. A couple of them like kind of left towards it, and obviously that ball turned back inside.
Yeah, cool. So what we're talking about when we're talking about markers splitting, they're going to split, but then once the ball's gone and they've done that split, but then obviously they need to start making their way back across, as you would with any defenders on that side of the ruck as well. Okay. All right.
Markers are defending and splitting
Aggressively, yes.
aggressively. What's stopping hooker from just going straight forward?
Because we're not being so aggressive that you're just aimlessly running off to allow him to do that. What you're going to do is that you're going to witness that there's a dummy half that's potentially getting there and he's thinking, right, I'm going to run out of dummy half. So you're going to go and get him aggressive. What you don't want to do is go so hard and so early that either you get done for not being square and setting off too early discipline wise, or you aimlessly just run blind and allow him to sell a dummy and go in there. Okay, so by splitting we're talking about being really, really aggressive, and as he goes you're going and getting him rather than thinking that you're going and getting somebody else. Yeah? Absolutely, 100%. You're thinking about him running, then when he passes, then you go and get the guy who's shooting the ball. Nick, can you give us a 13 please?
Yeah, go with that. Starting 13 we went last night, but barely he was roughing.
And he might sell a dummy and try and sneak down the short side. So whoever's working open, you're still going to communicate, and you're going to split really aggressively. So you go there, you go there. Okay? Bear in mind, the 3 dummies and goes in there, you're taking him first before you go and take that guy. Okay? Perfect, cool. You guys are getting forward really, really aggressively. Okay? You guys, spread yourselves out. Okay, so guys, you have got the option of running out of dummy half, passing to the first receiver, passing from first receiver to second receiver, to third receiver, maybe even to fourth receiver, if you can. If you can. Bear in mind, you're 5 metres off your try line. What I'm hopefully going to highlight is if we've got aggressive line speed, okay? Aggressive line speed, that they're not going to be able to get the ball through 2 or 3 pairs of hands before we get to them. Alright? We don't use 12 If the ball does get past you, especially there, to this guy here, what's your role? To keep moving. It's still line speed. It's still line speed. Okay, cool. Brilliant. Back on side. So just one play. Just one play. You ready? Play! Brilliant. Hold there. Fantastic. Go back. Let's get ready to go again. Winger, stay on that scrum line. Right on that scrum line. That's, we're going to talk about you in a second. Play! Good! Brilliant aggressive split markers. Well done. Good stuff. Go back up again. Play! Fantastic. Brilliant. Okay, take that, play the ball back there. Okay, roll with the winger. Roll with the winger. See, what's on it? Perfect. our back row. Okay? Get ready. Push, push. Good. Good. Let's go again. Good. Good. Fantastic. Okay. Take that ball back. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put into action and demonstrate what the next play might look like and what the next play might look like. So we're going to go hopefully towards 3 live plays. Okay. So when you've carried the ball on play 1, guys, okay, offensively just stay where you are. Okay, and then we'll go and implement what our defensive line will look like on the next play. Okay. You ready? Play. Good, hold there, stand still for me, okay, leave those 2 markers in place, 2 markers, okay, right side back row, come back on side, half back, perfect, okay, you're nice and tight here, you're nice and tight here, you're nice and tight, you down here. So the bad play will be a little bit further in field. Okay? We've got security on. Still got 3 defenders down that short side who are getting forward aggressively and moving. We've still got our markers that are splitting aggressively. Okay, so if they do go there, one bloke going that way and one bloke going that way. Okay? We've still got really tight defence. Okay? And we've still got the security down. We need to slightly detach. Cut it off. Okay? Make everything twice about one of those over the top tight passes. Okay, so this will be play 2 of them bringing the ball away from Gardens. Okay, and exactly the same. Ready? Play! Look, help there! Stand where you are. Okay, markers. Okay, on this side for me. Stay there. This side. Now, there's a little bit of space, there's still a short side, there's still a little bit of space because they're not on the airport. You can afford to be slightly attached to those lines that are on the side. Go that way a little bit. Perfect. Okay, play 3, you've got the option of going this side or that side. Still trying to get around the outside. You're still a little bit wide now for it. Okay, we're ready. Play! Brilliant. Okay, hold there. Go back to that right hand. Play! Held there! That's 1. Wait! Wait! Onside! Onside! Play! Good! Held there! 2. Wait! Wait! This side! Wait! Get ready? Play! Right. Good. Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, take that, play the ball back over there. Play. Hello. Wait. Play. Good. Let's go back and do 1 more of those. Okay, so just recapping on that. Hopefully we've witnessed there how effective that could be, okay? And I spoke to the guys that were in the offensive unit there, and I was telling them to try and get the ball as wide as they could, as fast as they could, and try and get beyond that, okay? And they're finding it really, really hard to try and stretch the defensive line, even though we were starting really, really tight. And on those 2 or 3 plays, you could see that at the point of contact, because that was in place discipline-wise, narrowed the pitch with our spaces defensively. I've got to say, guys, outstanding line speed, really, really effective. Okay, markers were really effective in a split. Okay, obviously we didn't go to ground in terms of that making it slow part of it, because we've got this game tomorrow. Okay, and that winger was a little bit security of that detached, especially on that last section of 3 players there where they looked like they might be able to get there, and he put that off really, really well, and then the rest of the line got out there to shut it down. So that's just hopefully a little bit of an insight of how effective that can be, especially when you've got that teams inside their goal line to 20-metre area. Okay, so anybody got any thoughts on that?
What distance do you like as you look to space your ways, like in relation to things? Because obviously, like if Mark is chasing aggressively, he's chasing past the defender against quite tight.
So basically, you don't want to be able to leave a space. So guys, I need 2 markers. Any 2, nice and quick. Grab that ball. Yeah, nice and quick. Nice and quick. Okay, I need somebody else to play the ball. Nice and quick. Nice and quick. And then an A defender. Yeah, so go get that ball for me. Go get that ball. Somebody do me half, and then somebody ready to run. Yeah, somebody do me half, and then somebody ready to run. So you're A defender. Okay, so what we're talking about, our space. So what we don't want to happen as an A defender. Okay, come in. So what we don't want to happen is this defender to be too wide, so it creates too much space that looks too juicy for the offensive team to attack and exploit in there. Okay? But what we don't want to be, as Chris just said, is too tight. So that by the time he passes the ball there, this marker's gone beyond him, because in effect we're going without that defender. So your spacing's got to be relevant, so that if the dummy half runs out and the marker engages him early, you're going to affect the tackle there. If he tries to get outside the markers and outside you, okay, you're going up and then getting him on your outside shoulder. If he tries to run in that area there, in that block hole area that I like to call it, nice and tight, where your marker's going to engage him and you're going to engage him on the marker's outside shoulder and your inside shoulder. Okay, so your spacing's got to be relevant, okay, to make sure that none of those can be apparent for the offensive team. So I reckon in this area, probably about 2 strides width-wise away from the marker, when you've got them in that area between goal line and 20-metre area. Okay? Sweet. Anything else? Cool. Brilliant. Probably only got about 10 minutes left, but we can get straight onto this. So we're now just going to flip it a little bit, okay? And we're going to talk about the sort of adjustments we might make when we go from 20-metre line to halfway line. Because teams obviously can potentially shape up a little bit more offensively once they get outside of that 20-metre area. So if we were so tight, once we get beyond that area, there's a real chance that teams will be able to get a 1 or a 2 or a 3 pass shift on us, and then it would look scary on our outside. Okay, so things that we have to implement and put in place once we get a little bit further upfield in terms of teams being away from their own goal lines. That's still got to be number 1 for me. Absolutely still got to be number 1. Okay, so you've still got to have that discipline, which might mean what you do at marker. It might mean what you do at ABC defend. It might mean what you do a little bit wider, but certainly still in place in terms of no offsides, no not square markers, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so discipline's still really, really important. Instead of talking about narrowing the pitch and just about all of our defensive line being really tight, okay, we talk about our ABCs being really tight. Okay, so the spaces that we had there, okay, right across our unit, our defensive line, we're probably all going to have an A, B and C defender. The rest of the players out then will just be that little bit wider, okay, in case they are looking to move the ball, okay, a little bit wider offensively. Okay, so we talk about a tight A, B, C. In terms of our line speed, okay, again we've got to be a little bit aware that we don't aimlessly just rush forward 7 or 8 metres and a pass does get beyond us, which then makes it really scary for our edge defenders. So we talk about our first 5 steps. So we're going to get forward initially, those first 5 steps, and then we'll make an adjustment or a read depending on what the offensive team has done. If they're looking to shift the ball, we'll have got forward, but then we can make that adjustment with our line speed in terms of we then might need to start going laterally because of the shape offensively of the opposition. So we talk about those first 5 steps. We adjust our markers a little bit. Because again, it is a little bit more scary. Certainly as you get outside of that 20-metre area, that's where any team with a smart hooker, okay, a smart number 9, is going to start thinking, wow, if those markers start splitting aggressively, I'm going to start being able to use some cute little ruck plays in that area of the field, because the spacing of the opposition is a little bit wider to be able to exploit that. So we talk about our markers stepping and working, okay? So we talk about being ready to just step, but then hold a little bit, because the acting half maybe not going to be passing off the floor. He might be picking up to try and engage a marker a little bit. So we don't want to be silly and be aggressive and take ourselves out of play on this by sinking into him so he can pop a little short pass, etc, etc. So we talk about stepping and then working. So if he runs, you can engage him. If he passes and tries to fix you up, you're going to be able to move on and make that tackle as well. An important one, it's on number 5 here, but it is really, really important, is we add into the tackle from the inside. Okay, I'll hopefully demonstrate something that will show why it's scary if we add in from the outside, okay, defensively in yardage. And again, making it slow, which again, it's all about, once we've dominated that tackle, we're going to peel off nice and slow, so our defensive line's back on side, our markers are ready to go and do it again the next play. Okay? Cool. So, we're going to talk about the first 5 steps, our markers stepping and working and adding in from the inside. So, can I have you in those groups again, please? So, one group get a ball, another group get a ball. Just make your way down here, guys. So, 2 markers and then a tight ABC. We need another defender. Yeah, you come and defend. You come and defend for me. You come and defend for me. Cool. So in this area you're getting forward that we had at the start of that defence.
Yeah, it's not really wrong.
That 13 on the line there for me. The offensive player is there for 4. And it's down at 30. Marker. Tight ABC.
I still go back.
You're still full back. Okay, so now. So we're not making it really wide, we're not making it as narrow. So we've got a tight ABC, go now a little bit wider, because they're going to get forward 5 steps and then start to count. Go a little bit wider. Go a little bit wider. Okay, expect from me, guys. So just one play. Again, you can either go in here or you can try and get out there a little bit. Bear in mind, our first 5 steps are aggressive, then we steady up a little bit to see what's unfolding in front of us. Okay? Are we ready? One side. Quick! Good, let's go again. Go in again. That way. Come here. Ready? Play! Good stuff. Okay, so we've got 3 plays. Defensively, don't do tight ABCs, but then a little bit wider. Good, held there! Wait. Tight ABCs, and then a little bit wider outside. Hey! Good, held there! Okay, now in the centre of the field. So I need a tight ABC this side, and a tight ABC that side, and then a little bit wider outside of that. So a little bit wider outside of that. So, are you ready? Hey! from, guys take a seat. So real important messages and bullet points from when we're defending that 20 metre area to around about halfway again, not obviously set in stone, but in and around that area. Obviously discipline's still massively important, okay? But instead of being all really tight and the offensive team being able to get beyond those tight defenders, we've got a nice and tight ABC, but then a little bit wider from the defender out. So we're defending more of the width of the field outside of that area, okay? What's changed a little bit from deep yardage is instead of line speed where we're just going really aggressively because it's very difficult to get the ball out there in that area of the field, okay? We're aware that teams can get the ball out there. So we talk about our first 5 steps. So rather than just sprinting forward and making the contact, okay, and making those 10 metres which you saw in this area of the field, okay, in yardage, okay, we're aware the ball might get to our outside shoulder now. So we talk about the first 5 steps and then being aware of what the offence is doing and what's unfolding, so we can then make that adjustment. So our line speed, okay, isn't just all the way forward, it's forward and then adjusting out, Markers, we just talked about there about stepping and working, okay? So we're aware that we've got now a dummy half in place, okay, that might be cute, that might be smart, that's going to challenge us, and he might be able to sell a dummy. So we've got to be able to step, be aware of what he might be doing, and then work, rather than just working as we were effectively in the yardage, okay? Making it slow, obviously once we've made that contact we've talked about, the add-in from the inside, okay, really important. I'm just going to do a quick demonstration to talk about what we want from that. So can I have 2 groups of... Okay, hold it there, wait, okay. We talk about adding in from the inside. Hold it there, go to contact for me. So we're in contact on A and B, okay. If this guy from outside comes and adds in, okay, couple of things that could be really scary for the defensive team. We're now short of a defender on this open side, okay? Also, we start then to lose our shape positionally in the defensive line, because we might have a back rower that's come and added in from the left side, and what's your name? Ollie, who's a prop, who's then got to go on a big arcing run to fill that space because the back rower's added in from outside to in. Okay, so the reason why we talk about adding in from the inside, go back for me, come back here, so you're ready for a pass. He's gone into contact between our A and B defender. Yep, Ollie's stepped and then worked. Ollie's going to be the one that adds in from the inside. Go in and get involved in that tackle. Just go to the ground for me. Go to the ground with him. Okay, you'd have 2 that get up to marker. This young man hasn't had to come from outside in, so we've still got our defensive unit in place. Okay, as we get back on side, one of you that's going to get back on side, you just have a short adjustment to make there. We get back on side here, and then everything's in position ready to defend the next play. Okay, all sweet with that. Yep, jog it.